Well, guys, we're back. We promised you some more Trek. Unfortunately, Mr. Bo Llewellyn has some other obligations, and hopefully, we can get him back here sometime soon. But for the foreseeable future, you have Captain Xena and myself as we go through the next generation. We're still on season one. Um, I'm not really so sure how I feel about this episode, the Haven episode.
Okay.
Um, Give me your initial thoughts, Captain.
well, I didn't think it was too bad of a episode. I like Mrs. Troy. I liked her as a character. Um, I believe this is the first episode that she was in, and over the years with her being, in this show, in DS9, I actually liked her character. Um, it wasn't too bad. I mean, Troy, has to get married, and her mother comes on board, and this arranged marriage, and she meets. I think his name is Wyatt, and she has a interesting relationship, Miss Troy and Wyatt's parents, which I thought that was kind of cute. Wyatt is a human. And Wyatt is having dreams of a woman who he thought it was Troy. And later on in the episode, we found out that it wasn't. Um, Calibas, what do you think about Wyatt?
I really thought that he was an interesting character, but I mean, next to Riker, you know what I mean? That's kind of, I mean, and back then when I first started watching it, I really wasn't really a Riker fan. You know what I mean? Um, I gravitated towards Worf, and I gravitated towards Tasha. Because they were the stronger leads of the show. I'm not a big Data fan, but I did kind of like the dynamic between the girl and the dark hair, short in stature, dark eyes with Commander Riker. I thought
Mhm.
that worked. And then you bring me in this wishy washy guy, and I'm like, this cannot be who she's betrothed. This dude, you know? Um, but again, like you said, uh, Roxana Troy, I
Yeah,
love
Roxana.
the mother. And I love the way she sticks it to John Luke every time. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I love that. Major Barrett was a Major Barrett Roddenberry, excuse me,
Hmm.
was an extraordinary actress. She definitely helped Star Trek going. Voice of the computer.
Yes.
Um, but she played that mother role really good. I did like that. Um, but that dude, he just seemed just so. You know what I mean?
Weak.
Yes, I. It's just I couldn't. I just couldn't fathom someone like her. You know,
Hmm.
wanting to. And then of course how the episode progresses, and like you said, uh, visions of this woman and everything else. So I thought that was interesting that we got to see not just betazoids, but there were always somebody else with some type of connection to um, mental abilities or capabilities, uh, which gave the show a little bit of flavor. Because again, I was never. I liked it. I was in the Federation at that time. Um, what was it? The Star Trek International, and they went from the Monster Maroon to this show, and that really kind of, you know what I mean, that kind of went in my craw because I had just paid $200 to get this suit made, and
Oh.
now you're switching over to this new show. And so I was a little upset. I was a little upset by that, and I wasn't really, trying to hear what they had to say. And then plus, Picard kept going on about being peaceful mission and da 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 da. And I'm like, where's the action? Where's what's going on? And seeing Klingon for the first time on the bridge of the Enterprise as
Yeah.
an officer blew my mind. But the dynamic of Troy, her mother, the family, and now you're giving your daughter away to this wishy-washy guy when there's Commander Riker. Obviously, is the choice you want to go with. But
Well,
watching
I
this,
don't know if we found out how early that the two families came together to decide that Wyatt and Troy was going to get married. I can only assume it has to happen earlier in their lives because
mm-hmm,
they never met.
right?
So, I don't think Troy would have picked Wyatt because she was a strong character, but I did thought it was interesting when Riker first found out what was going on, and he kind of said something to Troy like, you know, what about me? I thought we were. And
Yeah,
considering that at the time, Riker being, the commander of the ship, I don't think he really looked towards their relationship at that time. Yeah, they had a relationship in the past, but I don't think he truly thought of them getting together right then and there.
yeah. Well,
And hello, Calibas went offline, I believe. So, yeah, going back to the episode,
kind of
a ship.
weird
There he goes. You went offline for a
the
moment, sir.
the
I didn't hear
the
anything.
dynamic of how things worked out. You know what I mean? How everything played out. Uh oh.
You're back now, but you went
I'm
out for
hoping.
like about 20, 30 seconds.
Uh oh.
Is
Okay, there we go.
okay, okay.
So look, guys, I'm telling you, with this winter storm that's going on, and I mean, I know we've been having some problems lately, but you're gonna have to bear with us. We're doing this live for you. It's Trek Tuesday, so bear with us. Uh, you know, as we go through this because it's live. We can't stop and edit it. We got to keep on going.
Hmm.
Um, the parents. What was your reaction about the parents? The here they go. Here they are. These people. I mean,
Well, I thought it was cute that I think Miss Troy, maybe feeling the father's emotions, like, oh, he's waiting for us to get naked, which is the part of the ceremony. I think they definitely loved each other and one what was best for Wyatt. But it was cute seeing, his parents, her parents, well, Miss Troy, their relationship to what was going on. They both wanted what was best for their children.
ah, Marky Mark asks the question: what species were they?
The parents were humans.
And I guess as a red-blooded male, of course, he just wanted to see everybody get naked. So
Yes.
just one of those guy things, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, but the 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 woman that was calling out to him, right? uh, that he kept dreaming about and drawing and all this other stuff that he had all these images and uh, I thought that was, and this is one of the episodes that Roddenberry wrote.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I love the optimism, of course, of the future that he wanted to bring to everyone. That this was the uh, that we wouldn't always be out here warmongering and destruction. It was about exploration and, of course, raving the human condition. Uh, but you know, I guess the heart was what the heart wants. Because again, there's he is, there she is, and I'm still like nobody wanted Deanna or Riker. I don't see it, but
I I don't think it was about he didn't want Deanna. I think it was just to the point, for as long as he can remember, he's having dreams about this woman. And then seeing Diana for the first time, hey, look, you don't look like, nothing that I've been dreaming about for whatever how long. And, when he walks onto the bridge towards the end of the episode and he sees this woman, oh, this is who I need to be with.
yeah,
I mean, who knows if he didn't have these, dreams that maybe he and Deanna would have been happy together. Maybe. I kind of felt like she would have gotten bored with him, especially with her being in Starfleet. Not saying I've always thought her job being the greatest job because for a while you just sit there and talk about what you feel, but I can see why at least in his mind he would want to be with this other person because that's who is in his head, not Deanna, this other woman.
no, I
You
mean
know.
it makes sense. It makes sense. You know, it's again what the heart wants. You like you said, you've been conditioned
Hmm.
over and over again, and then you're like, well, back in my day, when you were talking to somebody that you didn't know, I got this girl I want you to talk to. Here's her phone number, and now you're on the phone, and then the face to face moment hits, and like
Yeah,
you don't look like nothing I pictured in my
yeah, definitely, definitely.
mind. So it goes that way. But all in all, what do you think of the overall episodes? IMDb gave it 6.2 out of 10 stars.
Yeah, I would agree to that. I mean, I can understand that, seeing this woman, he, went to the ship. Now he's, has the virus too, and even seeing that Troy, I think he went and talked to Troy and his parents before he went to the on their ship. She knew what he was doing. I would have assumed the parents kind of did before the start of the conversation, but definitely she let him go because I think if she would have sat down and really truly thought about it, she wasn't in love with Wyatt either. Maybe
No.
she felt like, hey, he's paying attention to me where Riker can't because he is second in command. And, this guy comes over and we talk and we kind of develop. I don't even think it was feelings. I think she was maybe just, yeah, he likes me. He likes me, But it wasn't a bad episode. Not one that I see myself watching regularly. I watched it because of this. I vaguely remember it when I was, rewatching it yesterday. But so it wasn't an unforgettable episode. But, if it was on TV like a month from now, would I watch this episode? Probably not, but that's just my opinion.
No, no, you're right. I mean, even going down the nostalgia train, we have to go back and rewatch some of these episodes because there for a while there, especially towards Star Trek didn't, and I know this is sacrilegious to say, Star Trek didn't start getting really good to me until after Gene passed.
Yeah,
That fourth season, going into that fifth season hit when he passes, the stories just got a little bit better because we took out all the nice
yeah,
and we started showing the uglier side of things. And sadly, I would love to see that Starfleet utopia that all of us are striving for, where we're not bickering over money and killing each other over land and all this other stuff. We work to better ourselves, as Picard would say.
mhm,
Um, but again, like you said, if it came on, oh, this is that episode, and I'd be like, you know,
yeah.
it had some great moments. We had Marky Mark who chimed in. He said Lurch was his favorite character in that episode. Mr. Han, right?
Yeah, that was cute.
I did like that. I have to admit that was fun. That was fun. But let's talk about our next episode, and I pushed them out of order. I
Okay.
think.
Yep.
I think didn't I? Didn't I push them out of order?
Yeah, yeah.
I sure did, and that's my fault. Hide and Q. I like this episode a lot because Riker's like I feel like such an ass, and Picard's
Yeah.
like yes, quite right, quite right. He gets really British for a Frenchman, and this is also the first time that we get to see a little bit of some Klingon action going here. Where Q is starting to grant everybody's wishes, and it goes, Mr. Worf, always so prim and proper, let that Klingon go. And he brings up the woman, and Worf just beats her back. And they're like, is this sex for you, Worf? This is sex. And I'm like, woo, that's just, even back then, because I believe it was on Channel 33
Yeah.
here in Virginia. That was kind of rough, you know what I mean? Because they were into some exchanging blows type things for their foreplay, I guess. But it was just great to see a Klingon female. Besides, no, right?
Yeah, I think this might have been the first one.
That one of the first
Yeah.
ones, if not the first one that we got to
Mhm.
see, other than of course TOS
Yeah.
and so forth. So seeing that was kind of great, and of course, Mr. John Delancey
Um.
playing Q.
Well, I'm
Go
not a
ahead.
big fan of what she had on because being a Klingon woman, she's a warrior too.
That's right.
That definitely was a sex slave outfit. I mean,
No, you're right.
which is understandable. That's what she was,
But
but
that shouldn't have been. I don't. With the way Klingon culture is, I don't think. You know what I mean?
yeah,
She should have been in her warrior's garb.
yes,
You know what I mean? I mean, look at the way Dax was, and then
yeah,
that other Klingon that Quark was with.
yeah,
Um, and of course, again, this is what happens when you get a bunch of men to write for something and to make it erotic. They always put the woman in this lower queue, and no pun intended. But I would have loved it. I mean, I love a powerful woman. I love the way Tasha was, but then I couldn't figure out, well, if you have Tasha, what you need War for,
yeah.
you
Do
know.
that.
But again, looking at it, I still like you said when you said that you're like I'm not crazy. I'm looking at it, and you're right. Look,
Yeah,
this right here is the spine for the back of the Klingon uniform. So why is this shiny up here, and then these things are cut, and this is a low cut? There's no armor there, and that not.
yeah.
So yeah, clearly this did not age well,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it's sadly, um, it's just not that what I mean. And again, he hits her and sends her back flying. And I'm sitting there kind of going, okay, that's a little extreme. I mean,
See,
I
I
get
don't
it.
have a
Klingons are supposed to
problem
be
with
extreme.
that. That's why I think, because they're a warrior race. So for her just to fly off like that, I think I would rather see them, start a fight and then that happens. And he
That
won.
would have made more sense, though, right?
Hmm.
Grabbed him and then took her knife out, trying to put it to his throat or something. Yeah, I think you and I are just a little bit too violent. But
Yeah.
hey, I would have loved to see that. I think that would have been the thing.
Hmm.
Um, but again, Q comes in all these colorful little uniforms because he's going throughout the ages showing Picard this, and then he gives the power of Q to Riker. And then that phrase of absolute power corrupts absolutely pops in my head,
Hmm.
you know, and then towards the end of the episode, Riker's like, yeah, you saw this coming and you let it play out to teach me a lesson. And yeah, Picard's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what did you think of when Riker go? I know what you want, my friend, to be older, and he makes Wesley older.
Well, with Wesley being young and how smart he is, and wanting to have people respect him more, that makes sense. I mean, all the witches that the bridge crew had made sense,
Right.
with Wesley wanting to be older, Jordy, wanting to see, Data, I mean, they didn't actually show that, but Data wanted to be human. It made sense. So I didn't have a problem with him saying, being happy. I'm older, they're gonna respect me now, and I cannot be a trainer on the bridge. I can be a real, officer. I
Yeah.
think is interesting. So I didn't have a problem with that. So I thought that was good.
But you know what I loved? I love when Data says no, 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 sir. That he wanted to get there on his own, and that's when Wesley was like, I think I'd rather just grow up on my own, and that's when Riker hit the realization that
Yeah,
I feel like such an ass. Yes, quite right, quite right.
yeah.
You know, um, he had an issue with the little girl dying.
Well, yeah, because Riker wanted to save the little girl, but he by that time he already promised Ricard that, hey, look, I'm not going to use these powers anymore.
Yeah,
And honestly, I don't blame Riker. You're just a regular human. Here comes the Q. Is giving you this opportunity. That would tip anybody. So would you be able to say yes, no? I don't know.
well,
I
I mean,
don't know.
but that's the best thing about them as a man of honor. Your captain asks you, I can order you to do this, but I'm asking you to do this.
Hmm.
I won't do this. So being a man of honor that Riker is, being a man, in command, your word, you have to stick to your word. And it would kill you, it would kill me to see something like that.
Hmm.
Um, Losing something that you have the power to fix
Yeah.
is never an easy thing. It's like watching your child go off and doing something stupid, and you're going, you might not want to do that, and you see them doing it, and you're like,
You gotta let them grow.
you
Let
gotta
them
let them.
figure it out. Yeah.
You have to, Um, but I one of the things again that I did love about this whole thing was the fact that uh, we get to see these characters that we know so well established now at this younger stage, and of course how things evolve. Klingon women don't come out like that no more, thank
Hmm.
God. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're shown as this force of equal stuff until we get to the Ferengi, which ooh, they're women and they're clothed, and I'm
But then
just
that's
like,
the
wow.
Ferengi, though. That's the Ferengi. So
Yes,
they're, they respond that way because that's how they respond. So
yeah,
that would make sense for that race. But
that's true.
so
That's true.
it's you can't say this race did it this way and they're right, they're wrong, and why when Cleons are one way and the Ferengi are another. So that would
Mm,
make sense that they were oh, the clothing and look down on them. Where I don't think the Cleons would necessarily do that, no matter
no,
what sex they are.
no. I think, but I mean, that's to the credit of the writing and how they do it.
Yeah,
They kind of establish some stuff. Now again, you guys got to remember this is still the early '90s. It's still a little dated. You know what I mean? Because this is the way certain things were done. Um, then of course they transition over to uh, we get DS9.
Voyager.
And but what channel were they on? They had a Paramount
UPN.
network, right? Didn't we
I
get the
thought originally it was on UPN.
Yes, UPN.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes, United Paramount Network. Yes. Yes. Oh my God. But see, that was such a great time for us because then, we have a United Paramount Network. We knew it was going to be Star Trek all the time.
Yeah,
Um, but again, you know, things kind of went the way it did.
yeah,
Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for joining us. I these little Star Trek talks and to being able to talk them over with Captain Xena is one of my favorite little things because I don't have people that I can talk Trek with. And she being part of the Star Trek crew that we've assembled here on the portal makes this a worthwhile venture. So we are back. We're going through these 2 episodes at a time. We're going to only try to take up 30 minutes of your time and talk about them. But I need you guys to come back and join us. Please, in the comments below, let us know what you're thinking, what you like, what you don't like, so we know what to do to change it.
yes.
Unfortunately, I'm just now looking at the dashboard and it says blurs. So I'm going to go into YouTube and change that immediately so you guys understand that this is Captain Xena with Caliph, son of Kolar, because I am Klingon. And you know what? I think next time I will put on the Klingon get up.
Okay,
I'll put on the Klingon get up. The wig, the headgear might be a little loose because I'm not gluing anything down.
I got
But
you.
I think next time I'll put it on just to kind of feel the role, you know,
Okay.
get ready for convivial.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
I
listen,
did put on this years ago. I don't know when Mark and I went to it, but the I don't know, you can see it. There you go. We went to Chrysler Hall and they had the music of Star
oh,
Trek, and it was such a great experience. It showed scenes from all the movies and the TV shows on the big board, and they had an orchestra down playing the music, and it was outstanding. I've only heard about it coming that one time. You hear about the Star Wars coming and the Harry Potter that's supposed to be coming, but this right here, I got my little souvenir for it. It was awesome. So I definitely suggest if they ever come back, Chrysler Hall, Newport News, Hampton, the other side of the water, South Side, definitely go and see it. It was just a great experience, and I've always remember it.
I definitely want to go to something like that. That sounds like something I miss doing that. The last time I went to something, I saw Jedi Joe there, and they were doing superheroes,
Mm.
and they did the Wonder Woman. The woman came out with that little electric violin, and
Mhm.
I was, oh my god, I love that. But guys, we are back. Um, Captain Xena and the Klingon, I guess. I don't know what to call the show. Give us some hints what you'd like to hear the show called. But we are back, and we will see you in what, 2 weeks?
Yes, definitely.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes,
So thank you for joining us. Um, shall we do the whole cliche? Live long and prosper,
yes.
and of
Resistance is
course,
futile.
you know, being Klingon, I leave you with Kapla.